Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. I'm Lawrence Winterman.
I'm Dana Dubois, and that's my best friend.
That's my best friend.
Holy
Good morning,
cow.
Dana. How are you?
I am doing so well today, Lawrence. I'm so excited for today's show. And a quick programming note as you all are joining, it's Friday. And as you know, here at the Daily Whatever, we generally do our show Effed Up Friday with a slightly saltier name. But we're changing things up here a bit today, and for a very, very good reason.
A very good reason.
We have a very special guest joining us. Karen Attiah, Washington Post, founder of the global opinion section at the Washington Post. We're not going to get into the whole bio right now, but she's joining us. We will be in conversation with Karen in just a few minutes, but wanted to give that programming note first and to say we will be back with Effed Up Friday with Marlon Weems next Friday. But could not be more excited about this show, Lawrence.
This is kind of an amazing opportunity, and we'll be talking to Karen today about citizen journalism, specifically here on Substack. And this couldn't be a more perfect example of citizen journalism. You and I are besties who have known each other for 47 years, who started a podcast and a Substack because we wanted to.
5 months ago.
5 months ago. And now here we are interviewing Karen Attiah in the same week that she has spoken to Paul Krugman and Kazim Rashid and Joyce Vance and us. And so, we're delighted to be able to have this opportunity and incredibly grateful. So we'll be adding Karen in just a moment. And I wanted to preamble and say, if for some reason you don't know who Karen Attiah is, let me catch you up. So Karen was born and raised outside Dallas, Texas. She studied communications and African studies at Northwestern, where she was also a Fulbright scholar in Ghana. She then went on to Columbia and got her master's degree in international affairs. And after a brief stint with the Associated Press, she joined the Washington Post in 2014, so about 11 years ago. And under the leadership of Fred Hyatt, who is kind of revered as a, classic from central casting, editor's editor, Karen became the founding editor of the new Global Opinions desk at the Washington Post. And she hired all the talent. She hired everyone, including the late Jamal Khashoggi. And her reportage after Khashoggi's assassination by the Saudi state led her to be named the 2019 Journalist of the Year by the National Association of Black Journalists. And she and her colleague, David Ignatius, received in 2019 the George Polk Award in journalism for their work surrounding Khashoggi's assassination. In March of 2024, Karen became an adjunct professor at her alma mater, Columbia School of International and Public Affairs. And in 2025, Columbia canceled her course, which was called Race, Media, and International Affairs 101. So Karen, being unthinkable, turned around and started the Resistance Summer School, which teaches a version of her course from Columbia. It was massively oversubscribed. The first cohort sold out really quickly. I know. I tried to sign up, but I missed it. And the next cohort starts on October 6th, and I'm delighted to be a part of that. So Attiah announced that she'd been fired by the Washington Post in a Substack post on September 15th of this year, just a couple weeks ago. And 3 days ago, Karen announced here on Substack that she has retained the one and only Katie Fang as her attorney, and that a grievance has been filed against the Washington Post for wrongful termination. So as anyone who has ever watched Law and Order knows, you can't talk about an ongoing case. So we won't be talking to her about that today, but there are a million other things that we can talk to her about. So I'm incredibly excited to be able to add Karen Attiah to our conversation right now. Karen, I am sending you the invite right now. There's your name, invite co-host, and Karen Attiah will be joining us in just a moment.
Yes. And
Thanks again, everyone, for being here. We can't express how grateful we are for this opportunity.
yeah, and another programming note, I will be keeping an eye to the chat, as we always do here on the Daily Whatever Show. So if you have questions or thoughts, please chime in. Karen,
Karen,
good
hello.
morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. I
Hi,
want to start by
guys. Thank
saying,
you all for having me.
oh, it is our pleasure. It's such an honor. Was there anything that I said in your bio that needs correction?
I think you were good. Unless I don't know, did you say that I'm a aspiring martial artist, pro wrestler, sort
I
of?
forgot the Muay Thai thing, but yes, you are a warrior, and we definitely want to talk about that. Um, so here's where I want to start, if I may.
Mhm, mhm.
So you've had you've had a wacky last year, right? By
Oh my god.
so you were
Yeah.
at the Post during the 2024 non-endorsement of the first Black woman candidate for president. You saw the tidal wave of cancellations that came after that. You lost colleagues after that. Your class at Columbia was canceled. You started Resistance Summer School and it was massively oversubscribed. You're doing it again and you've turned it into a permanent thing. And then, of course, in the last couple of weeks, in the wake of the Kirk shooting, we all know what happened there. Um, I just want to start. Karen, friend, how are you? Are you okay?
Oh my gosh. The latest update, and I'm like, when it rains, it hurricanes, is my beloved cat Artemis is in the hospital right now.
Oh, Karen.
So yeah, so right after this I gotta go and visit him. I don't know what it is. Just a couple days ago he just uh stopped eating, was puking everywhere, and it just wasn't passing. So like yeah, so I'm just like, "Oh my goodness." um yeah, so
Sorry, Karen. We
We're
each have
cat
two
people here,
cats.
so we get it. We get it hard. Yeah, like
yeah, you get it. It's and anyone who's followed me for the last couple of years has seen, Artemis and his hijinks and his gravity experiments, and um I yeah, he's my I don't know. I never say I'm a cat mom because I don't. I feel like he's an equal sort of roommate, and like he definitely is. I don't know. He's just like my kind of furry better half. So while I'm dealing with all of this, you guys, yeah, I appreciate support and all that. But outside of all of that, I don't know. I mean, I think I've just been getting so much support, honestly. So much support from people, you guys. Substack has given me this like warm, uh, perfumed embrace, like ever since like everything happened with the Post. And um yeah, I'm okay. It's like a day at a time. I think that I don't know. I hope what sort of happened, not just to me, but again to Jimmy Kimmel, and I hope it's like a wake up call, I guess, for not just people in journalism, but like I think there have been warning signs like along the last year, several years, as to where this country is going, where journalism is going, where the Washington Post clearly, has been going,
yeah,
and at the very least, I hope that this is like a wake up call that no one is safe, right?
right.
Yeah,
I
So, yeah.
100%.
I really think it is, and I think part of what is also defining this moment for anyone who's paying attention is there's kind of a disparity between the reaction to your
Mm,
firing at the Post and what happened to Kimmel and Colbert, right? And
mm,
I mean, I think we can name sort of, racism and patriarchy as kind of players in the game here of what's going on. And part of what Dana and I wanted to do was, really talk to you because in our opinions, your firing from the Post is as important, if not more important than the Kimmel situation in late night, right? Because you brought the global opinions desk to the Post. You elevated your colleague Jamal Khashoggi. You helped him find his editorial voice, and the work that you've done is so important in kind of the internationalist view of America. Like, we should all be afraid that your voice is being silenced.
Mm, yeah, yeah, gosh, thank you for saying that. Part of it is, I don't know, I sort of live in my own head, in my own bubble, and having it said back to me in a way also kind of is like, oh wow, okay. It's weird to say, but it's like I see it like that, but it's again, thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's like I see it like that, and sometimes I don't see it like that in the totality of everything, which is just the nature of being in it, I suppose. Yeah, it's been so. I'm going to use the word interesting, and I'm sure interesting is standing in for a lot of like sharper language I could and should use. But in terms of, well, I will say, like, when I went public about the termination from the Washington Post, that was about a Monday. So there's about 2 or 3 days where I was trying to even get on national TV to talk
Right,
about like a one-on-one to talk about it. And keyword is I was trying, right? To be able to have like a proper sit down. I've lived in Washington, for a good part of 11 years. I know ish a lot of these anchors and hosts. I've been on with them, particularly, in the Khashoggi case, right? And it was so difficult. No one wanted to take like a one-on-one with me for like 3 or 4 days. Um,
I wish
a-
that surprised me, but that's heartbreaking. Like,
yeah. So part of it is, and then Jimmy Kimmel happens, and then Jimmy Kimmel is already on TV. I mean,
right.
like
He's
I
back
think,
already. Yeah,
yeah, and he's back already. So like, there's an element of like how my story played out that like I couldn't get on. Um, and, who knows what would have happened if there were braver TV anchors that would have given me like the time and space to be able to speak about what had happened. I finally was, but anyway, all that to say is that then Jimmy Kimmel happens, and then that's just a shock. But I think it's also that people didn't really get a chance to hear and see from me for several days
right,
on TV. Again, I know I went on independent media, which is a whole other aspect to this, right? Going on Substack, going on Don Lemon, and all that, and that has been a way to move around these things. But yeah, I think that these I won't say exactly that it was like a double silencing, but definitely being blocked when I was ready to speak, so and then add to that, I get it, I'm a columnist, like a lot of people don't really, and I'm in Washington, so it's different than being like on national TV every night. Like that element, like I get.
sure.
Um, that being said, yeah, of course, it hasn't been weird to be interviewed, and I'm still fired, and people are asking me about the guy who got his job back. Like, I mean, it's just,
Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah, not
there's
y'all, not
cognitive
y'all. Y'all are
dissonance
cool.
there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Y'all are cool, but it's just,
oh, we
it's
couldn't. I mean, I felt
Twilight Zone.
silly when I first reached out to you. I think I said something like, "We want to help elevate your voice here," and
Mm,
felt a bit silly because I'm like, your voice is already quite big. But we really do mean it. And
yeah.
I, a question coming to mind for me is, do you think they didn't want you on because, or that they didn't immediately invite you on? Um, because they just don't have visibility to what's happening in print media, and it's not, Jimmy Kimmel who's on our TV every night? Or do you think it was fear of backlash, or both?
I'm gonna take option number 2 for
Right, door number
500.
two.
Um,
I mean, that's my instinct as well, right? I think that's what a lot of us looked at this and saw was this is fear. Like the fear of backlash is part of what's silencing you.
yeah, and I was also saying I also am very aware that my sort of comments, my case, anyone who's read the termination letter that Washington Post sent me that I had to post myself. I'm just like, how many people have like had to post their own firing
Yeah,
letter in order to kind of set the record straight? But it also means, that's how much I stand behind, what I did. But I mean, I think there's an added element of the fact that race is interplayed throughout so much of what I said about Kirk or rebutted about Kirk. And I just think
sure,
that there's, and I've said this for a long time, that like mainstream media is not equipped to be able to talk honestly about race, right? So I think there's like I have a bit of a two for double possible grenade, right? So it's like afraid to. This is my speculation. This is just how I was processing it, right?
sure.
It's
Yes, we want your point of view. That's what you're here for.
right, right. So it was like, there's a point in time where like touch not my beloved Charlie Kirk, like where we were not allowed basically to say anything negative about Charlie Kirk, even for people who probably never heard of him, right?
Right,
And then the second element is, I think, discussing race and violence, which in normal-ish times is already, tough to do. I was a race, well, not a race columnist per se, but I was a columnist, and a lot of my work focused on trying to have these conversations honestly about race.
right.
So I think people are so afraid to have another viral cancelable moment on top of that for maybe misspeaking about race or having these uncomfortable conversations or whatever. That's just like how I interpreted it, as my situation being different than Kirk's, in the sense that, sorry, than Jimmy Kimmel, in
Yeah.
the sense that like my comments were about race.
It's data, right? And I you were talking to Kazim Rashid the other day, and y'all were talking about like the actual data, which
Mm,
is that 98%, or some very high 90s number of shooting incidents in this country are done by aggrieved white men. Like that's,
mhm.
I'm a white dude. I can look at the data and see that analysis. That's not, and violent white men, right? And that's
Right.
what you said. There was nothing. I mean, you don't need a white guy to reaffirm that what you said was correct, but like
I appreciate them all. I appreciate all the affirming white men I
any
can get.
person, any sane person, right, could look at what you said and just
Mm,
be like, yeah, no, that's truth. Like we have lost the truth in this country. We have lost any sensibility around if someone says something that is true, even if it hurts other people, because whatever, they want to revere Charlie Kirk, which come on, I don't even get how that's a thing, but people are hurt by the truth. And, it's that old quote, right? That like reality has a liberal bias to it because the
mm.
right wing doesn't want to acknowledge just what's true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was just it's so like I've had some over 11 years, and even more time on social media before that. I think I got on Twitter in 2009 or something like that. So I've been on the internet and on social media a long time, and I know what it looks like to have spicy takes and viral backlash. Like
Right.
even if you're saying the truth, what stunned me still is that my comments were actually not really all that much about Kirk. It was more so about America very broadly, and
Right.
I actually personally felt like I didn't have anything really new or novel to say. I was just kind of like, man, damn, here we go again. Like, and
Yeah.
it's Yeah, and the only thing I had to say about her directly was, which now, has turned out to be, that I took a quote that was then updated about Black women and stuff. But that was the only reference that I had to Kirk, or his own, maybe if not exact words, but his sentiments towards Black women, right? So it was just really confusing and shocking, and to see that was not only that was considered gross misconduct, that was just
Right.
like
That put your
way
colleagues
over
at
the
risk. I mean,
Right. The
it,
language in that letter is so strong. I put the link to I can put it in the chat again for folks who are just joining. But there is a link to the letter that
Mm,
from Karen's Substack that I've shared here. And I, I don't, if you're anything, when I've done something, it always helps to get affirmation that if you had any doubt that you said anything that crossed any lines, like neutrally speaking, you didn't. I
thank
mean,
you.
in a logical, sensible world.
Yeah,
What you
I
said was mild compared to so much of the rhetoric online.
yeah, on
And I
both
wanted
sides.
to
right.
up-level a few quotes from the chat, if I may.
Mm,
Science Curmudgeon has said, "News is best handled via nonprofit organizations, not for-profit mega corporations run by investor finance people." I think that's going to become an interesting point of topic as we get into citizen journalism. And Wasp Boss Sauce, that's a great username. Legacy media has left a veracity truth vacuum, being filled by podcasters, YouTubers, Substackers. I come here for the facts, and I check the networks to see propaganda echo chamber.
yeah.
Yeah, you do. You have to check and hear what most people are hearing. Um, and then that gets into the whole question of where's the media landscape heading with citizen journalists and these tools like Substack cropping up. But
Mhm.
um, didn't mean to derail our conversation. Just the chat is there's so many great comments in here. I can't read all of them, but thank you to everybody weighing in.
Yeah,
We're
thank
getting
you.
lots of hearts and
Oh,
affirmations in the chat.
Yeah.
thank you guys.
I mean, I think it's kind of a good direction for us to go, though, Karen. So you
Mhm.
joined Substack sort of before everything happened, and now the Golden Hour, which is the name of your Substack, which I love, by the way, such a good name.
Thank you.
Um, this now is maybe your place where you can sort of articulate your opinions, maybe without the shackles of you know corporate media oversight, right?
Yeah.
What are you hoping to do here on Substack through the Golden Hour? How can we support you do that? And maybe yeah, I know it's a lot of questions all in one, but also, you know, what do you think of this sort of wild west of Substack, which is like journalism meets opinion, meets reportage, meets everything all at once?
Yeah. I mean, I still I was thinking about this last night, in the sense of my entire journalism career has been with these big sort of marquee brands. Like I started with the Associated Press, and then uh pretty immediately after just, reporting in the Caribbean, pretty immediately moved into the opinion section at the Washington Post. So part of my and been there for 11 years. And so like my internal I'm having to reverse my own internal scripts right now still, that like for all of my almost like journalistic adult life, my mid-20s up until now, like it's always been Karen Attiah of the Washington Post, or like the Washington Post's Karen Attiah, like that they like possess me and like I belong to them. And it feels like, you know, uh, coming into a world where I didn't know that there's like sun and air. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness, wait, what is this beautiful garden? Like, where people are free and dancing and happy and naked. I don't know. Like, it's just, um, all that to say, I mean, it's been a short time. I was testing the waters a bit on Substack, even with like trying to do almost like audio columns, just because like there were so many restrictions at the Post, what I could do editorially, bureaucratically, like, and I just was like, I don't understand. I could just get on a mic, like they're like what, like, so now, albeit, my this has come in such a dramatic fashion. I guess, well, one thing I could say is I definitely want to keep writing for sure, and definitely like want to. I love that there's almost like these spaces where we can have these conversations via video. Like that's like it's just super cool. And what I know that there's the criticism of Substack, right? In terms of moderation, free speech, but I think for me, just as like a human right now, like not being isolated, being like welcomed by other Substackers and other writers, and people are like, "We're here to help you. It is going to be okay. Like we got you." Like I need that. um, and with the golden hour, I mean, two things. I mean, even with the name itself, three things. I like gold, so there's that. It's,
Nice.
it's
Yeah.
just like part of it is just the aesthetics of it. I mean, gold forever is a sort of a representation of value, of sort of prestige, of power, something that like throughout the ages will always hold its value
Right.
regardless of what's
Right.
happening in the world,
Paying
right?
yourself what you're worth. Right.
Yeah, and then the second part is obviously for any of the photographers in the audience, the golden hour, representing like when the light is just perfect at like sunrise or
Yes.
sunset.
Yes.
Um, and so just it's like beauty, right? And capturing that and the sort of like not taking like this beauty for granted while you're here. And then the third reason, I was like, as I was like looking up kind of like, okay, what does the golden hour mean? It's something that I actually didn't know until quite recently is that it's a medical term. It also means the period of time between someone who's come in with a critical injury. You have a very, very short window of time within which to get them the sort of care that they need before they get to a place that they can't recover from before, they possibly die. So it's like this idea of like both value and beauty, but then like peril if you don't act.
Right.
You
Which
don't
we as a nation are in this moment, that golden hour. Right.
exactly. You
Yeah.
get it. So
And
I like light and dark themes as someone who this is just how I think about writing, about music, about art in general is like having that balance and understanding that like there's a lot of beauty that might come out of this really dark time. But it's also this idea that like America's on the brink. Like this is a 5 alarm. Like
Yes.
I don't know if we're critical yet,
right. Right.
but
So we're like feeling the, uh-oh.
uh
They're
I'm
like,
not sure it's
prep,
going to make it.
prep the
Can I,
OR. We may need to
speaking of
think.
photos, right?
oh.
Can we talk for a second about the photo? You in that stunning blue dress, holding the burning Washington Post like a torch, the Post behind you, a rose blooming out of your mouth. My friend, like, if somebody said, "What is this?" I'd be like, "That is the new tarot card for warrior goddess for truth." Like that is what that is.
Oh my gosh. You guys are the first ones to directly ask me about that.
I mean, it literally, like, it took my breath away. I saw that picture and I was just like, damn, Karen, okay. Like, you are not playing around, and that is beauty. That it was amazing.
I'm getting the link right now so that everybody else can see
What
it
what did it
because
mean to you? Like, obviously you do what you wanted to say in that photo.
Mm.
What does it mean to you?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Yeah, because I mean, I think as a writer or as a columnist, I've been so much behind the pen, behind the byline. Maybe people might see me in interviews, but like at heart, I'm actually like a very creative person. I studied art history. I love sort of studying Renaissance paintings and learning how to be like, oh, look at that symbolism. Look, I love mythology. I love these things. So I guess it's part of an introduction to like how I think. And let's just say I knew that if for whatever reason I wouldn't be able to speak anymore, at least through the Washington Post or about my case, I would hope that that image would speak enough for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, eh, yeah, I saw the reactions. I saw, depending on what sort of side of the political aisle you were on, I saw on Twitter, the far right, they were having a meltdown over the pictures, because they were like, even
Strong.
Rudy, or even Rudy Giuliani and Christopher Rufo, like these types were like, "Oh my gosh, employers, do you see she's burning your brand. Is this who you would employ?" And then there's a bunch of people who I guess went and very quickly found, and clearly they have nothing better to do, but went and very quickly found the rose. They're like, "She's wearing a bomb gag with a rose. Oh my god!" Um, and then just sort of like, yeah, I don't know. And I was just like, and I didn't say anything. I'm like, well, that's okay, your interpretation. And then others were like, yes, like you guys, it's like goddess of warrior.
Right, right. I mean, really, it's like I saw it and I was just like this is a tarot card. Like this, if somebody said this is a modern tarot card, and this is the goddess of truth, and she is a warrior, and she is coming for your ass.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I just wanted look, it's a dark time and we actually shot that at night and that fire is real.
I was gonna
It,
ask.
we took a lot of lighting to get that done. It was a very guerrilla art type of thing. It's a setup.
Stunning.
Shout out to my photographer Ethan Long who shot it and also was part of the sort of creative director for it.
Oh my gosh. Can we put this when we put the recap up? Can we include this photo?
Of
Can we
course.
credit him? Okay.
Of
Like
course, of course.
it really, I hadn't seen this before, Lauren. So thank you.
Oh,
You all, I'm going to put the link back in the chat because I see a lot of folks are joining, and I don't want them to miss this one because
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously blue is the well, I mean, those are the sort of official colors of the Washington Post and I just like the color. But yeah, I think, it depends on how you look at it. And I either you see it as is the post burning itself? Am I burning the post? Or is it that journalism still should be a beacon of light in dark times? Some people are carrying on the it just depends,
Right,
and I yeah, fine, a Black woman doing that, yeah, I just was like, this is just a way to express
Right.
yeah,
this moment in time, and I don't know, it depends, maybe it could be a reminder to the post of like, this is what you guys are supposed to be,
right.
what you
Democracy
promised.
dies in darkness, and here, allow me to cast some light on a situation. I really think it's one of those. It allows people to tell on themselves. Like how you interpret that photo
Mm,
tells us way more about not you, Karen Attiah, but who the observer is and what they kind of what their worldview is. If they can't
mhm.
see a strong Black woman, a moment of defiance and kind of representing truth, and what they see is, I don't know, worker uprising against corporations, that's kind of telling on themselves, isn't it?
Yeah, it totally depends, and, like, it's that's why I love art so much because it's, like, as opposed to sort of not oppose, but, various ways of just expression, like I said, some on the right are like, "Oh my goodness, like, this is reckless and disrespectful, and she's full of herself," or whatever. And then for me, I mean, in general, I've said, and this is even back to the golden hour, back to just um, in general, I think this is a time for profound creativity and a time for art. And art has never stopped in hard or dark times. Again, I don't think we're at a critical. I don't think America's in critical condition at this point yet, but I think, at least for me, like getting in the habit of, hey, the empire is collapsing. You might as well express yourself. You might as well have a little bit of fun with it. You might as well add a little bit of color, to it. And I'm glad, I'm glad it resonated. But yeah, I just was like, let's just do something else. And maybe it's a part of the reason why, even me being in Washington, I never quite felt like I fit in like stuffy official Washington. Like, this is not something columnists probably do.
Yeah.
uh,
But why shouldn't they, right? And maybe
uh,
a part of this whole trend towards citizen journalism and
uh,
voices on Substack is you can represent all of yourself here. You can be Karen the artist and Karen the opinion columnist all at the same time, and
yeah.
people will subscribe to that, right? Because what they're getting is authentic you, not filtered through a big corporate mindset.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping so. I mean, I'm hoping. Oh yeah, anyone who follows my Instagram or even who's seen my Substack sees that I've been playing with swords a lot. um, I declared this sword girl summer that yes, into martial arts, and I hope that this will be a way going forward on Substack and in the things that I do that like more represent not just who I am and what I like, but like what is possible. I'd often get, even when I was a columnist or a journalist, people saying like, "We don't understand. How can you like be both like a writer, but then super into physical combat, like And I'm like, why do you think that those things are incompatible, right?
Right.
Being a writer
And
is a form of combat sometimes. It makes perfect.
absolutely.
They've obviously not done a lot of interesting writing. If they can ask a question like that. I wanted to read one more question, one more comment from the chat. Victor, I think this sums it up beautifully about your photo. It's artistic expression, or it's a artistic symbolism. Haters can go kick rocks.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna need art right now. We're gonna need satire right now. We're gonna need people. Like, there's so many ways to get truth across right now, and we need like all the truth weapons we can get. That's a reason why, even in my work at the Post, like some of my most popular pieces were not straight up opinion kind of fact, like journalism. Like some of my most popular, most viral pieces when I wrote satires. When I did, here's how we would cover America as if we were,
Right.
another part of the world, some third world country. And I would inject humor, I'd make up characters, like, because sometimes that's the only way to get at how absurd things are and to poke holes in American exceptionalism. You have to take people sort of out of
Yep.
reality. So, yeah, it's just always been my thing is journalism happened to be my vehicle, but my actual background is communication. And so I'm sort of like, whatever way it takes to communicate truth or to make people think. Maybe it's art, maybe it's music, maybe it's maybe it's an educator, like an actual teacher, maybe it's journalism. Um, I'm trained in multiple truth weapons.
Right. And you can be like, we talk a lot here, so we're Gen X, you're millennial, but you're one of us, right? We like to say that Gen X
I'll
is
take
not a
it.
generation, it's a mindset.
I like
And
it.
part of what we celebrate is like being multi hyphenate, right? Like
Mm,
you have many skills and many abilities. And, like traditional work has forced us to kind of each pick one thing that we specialize in it at the detriment of everything else. But I think what I hear you saying is that like this is a chance for you to really wear all those hats, to wear, all those outfits and be the full representation of who you are. And that, that's what we're trying to do. Like we're kind of m-
Yeah.
mid-end career people who are like, oh man, corporate America is not, ugh, and so, hey, why don't we go why don't we go put on a show at the barn? Like let's go start a Substack and
Why not? What?
Yeah,
Life
Lawrence
is
and I have
short.
known each. Oh, sorry, Lawrence and I have known each other since fourth grade. I guess
Oh,
you missed that in the intro. We are like longtime best friends, and the show kind of formed out of our daily conversations where we were like, we should be sharing some of these insights and these thoughts. And um, Gen X is a fulcrum generation, and Gen X is multi-hyphenate are two of the dominant themes. And the fact that we're late bloomers and we think that folks who are Gen Xy like are here for the fight. We're here for what's needed at this moment in time and to elevate the voices of others who are doing it. It's not a great like democracy dies in darkness, like that's a better
it's not a bumper
slogan.
sticker.
Our slogan is like a manifesto, but uh all of those things are going to be needed if we're gonna get through all of this. And
1,000%. We got to fire on all cylinders. Whatever skills people have right now, I feel like, and it's not even just like, and I was talking to one of my sort of martial arts gurus, coaches, advisors, I don't know. And yeah, times are really hard economically. If you're in the journalism business, if you're trying to speak truth, like this is hard. And I'm not trying to downplay it, but it's like you gotta find you're not got to. I mean, this is like I said, this is an opportunity, especially I think after COVID. Like I think a lot of us kind of saw how the holes in our system and like the ways that we were living were not like feeding our spirits, our souls.
Yeah,
Um,
1,000,000%.
100%.
right. And I definitely think some of this backlash is a little bit of like the owner class being like, hey, workers, know
Right.
your place, like
Yes.
across America, not just journalism, right? Um, so the idea that like it is possible to uh provide your skills, your gifts, service, create value outside of these structures is both deeply liberating and deeply threatening
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the corporate capitalist structure that would rather us work ourselves literally to the bone and then not even have the time and energy for our families, for giving back to our communities and all that. So I guess like I'm looking forward to like what does life look like when, I'm still working hard, working smarter, I'd hope. But in a way that is abundant. I don't know, fulfilling where I'm directly talking to the people. There's no middleman, anymore. Um, and yeah, like, I don't know, I could have fun.
Right.
Fun is
Right.
important. Fun
I,
keeps
Fun
you
is my
going.
favorite.
I feel like this is a good like moment to kind of pause and say, everybody in the chat, everybody who's here watching us, first of all, thank you. Second of all, please go subscribe to Karen's Substack, The Golden Hour. Paid subscriptions will help her get through this moment in time and be able to do the important work that you're doing with Katie Fang to to challenge your firing. And then also, I don't know if I know it's not Resistance Summer School now. You've renamed it Resistance.
Study series, resistance study series. I still need to complete the branding. That's why like getting fired was really inconvenient.
Right? You had all these other things
I
going on.
my first thought, I was like, I'm trying to put together a school. Like, I still need to finish the syllabus. Like, I don't have time for. I knew it was going to be dramatic. I was like, I
It's
don't have time.
destabilizing. You need
I don't,
career to be rock solid when you're trying to do it, like the foundations of your world. But you
right.
can do
So,
it. I mean, you'll have
yeah,
more time.
it does. It obviously it's sort of what happened at the Post, and compounded on what happened at Columbia. Only reinforces that like this country does not want these conversations about race, which then just makes me double down and being like, well, fuck that, I'm gonna do it. And a lot of people were like, fuck that, we're gonna learn and we're gonna have these conversations anyway.
Yeah.
So Yeah, so it'll be Resistance Studies series. The Resistance Summer School will come back. What, next summer?
Right.
Um, right now, yeah, the flagship kind of course which I'll be teaching is Race, Media, and International Affairs, which is a version of the Columbia class
Right.
that I taught. And yeah, now like more than ever, gosh, maybe now my case is gonna be a class,
Right.
on race and media, the Charlie Kirk saga.
Yeah.
But it's an opportunity for, not only for me to teach, but it's been just such an amazing community of people who've said yes when I felt cast out by the system. Um,
I'm really
I
excited to say that I'm in the October 6th cohort, so I'm
yes, yeah,
really, really excited
yeah,
to study with you.
yeah.
And is it still open? If people in the chat want to go sign up, is the
It is
October
still
6th
open.
okay, great.
It is still open. Please sign up. It's for as low as, $200 for 6 or 7 weeks of live and recorded lectures. I will tell y'all, like, I'm not even just hyping this up because it's me, but like, I honest to God, it was such a cool community. Like the students I
I
met
have no
from
doubt.
from around the world. Like everyone, my youngest student was 17, the oldest student was 79. I know, like, we had artists, we had college students, we had filmmakers, we had lawyers, we had people high up in government, we had people, like it really was this kind of, in a class itself is a very cross sort of disciplinary sort of thing. But it was just like, I think for a lot of people feel powerless right now. They might even see, what's happened to me or these figures or these institutions doing these things, and they're like, oh, I've already boycotted. I've already canceled all the things. Like, what else, can I sort of affirmatively do? And I met, just so many students who are just like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I signed up because I wanted to resist, but I didn't realize I needed this connection with other people so that we could process these things together. Um, and just for, just to connect, there was a number of people who were from like red states, right? And they feel pretty kind of isolated, and they're wanting to bring these views and talk about these things, and they just don't have those spaces. So I think for me, I enjoy creating platforms and spaces for people to like feel. I'm like, don't mind me, go discuss amongst yourselves, go make friends, like
Right.
go play in the corner, kiddos, like it's just that
Nice.
sort of thing. So for me, that gives me a lot of joy just to see people, yeah, we're learning. There's a syllabus, there are readings, there are guest speakers, we're gonna watch documentaries, like it's a proper class. And but now's the time for people to really get connected. And I think as we get older as adults, it's outside of our jobs, especially, it's so hard
Yeah.
to find these spaces if you're out of school. And even if you do go to school, the idea that you have to put yourself in crippling debt, to do so. In this economy, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that to people, right? Of course
Yeah.
not. Like, to make it as accessible as possible. And yeah, I just want people to learn some new things, have access to some of the best journalists that I know, who've agreed to help me out as well. So it's just been this cool, like, I already missed the students. A number of them are coming back for my 102 class, so there's opportunities for us to get together and stuff. But yeah, that's the Resistance Studies series. It's more than just a class. It's like it's a community. It's a small little army. Hopefully a movement that others can,
Yeah.
have the energy to also
Yeah.
can create these spaces for one another.
And I
Oh
think it
gosh.
fits into what we're talking about with citizen journalism and
Mm,
folks here on Substack, right? Like if we want race to be centered in conversations that we're having about what's going on in our country, which it must be because it has been unaddressed for so long,
mhm.
then we need to learn how to have those conversations and how to
Right.
center it in what we're writing. And so I think it's so crucial, in a way that the two things you're doing now fit sort of perfectly together, because clearly we can't depend on the Washington Post or the New York Times or the LA Times or anybody else to tell us what is really happening in this country without a heavy dose of filtering and
Bias.
and biased, right? So
Yeah, 1,000%. And I keep telling people, even, researching for the class, I keep learning new things all the time, right? And people actually get surprised that, well, here's a sneak peek for the first class. I actually start off with talking about Woodrow Wilson, the League of Nations, and Japan's efforts to try to bring racial equality to the League of Nations and what happened there.
mm,
And this was history that I only learned as a journalist, and I studied international affairs. So it's like part of it is, and I tell the students all the time, I'm like, we are all in remedial history. I don't care how many degrees y'all have. I don't care how old you are. If you were born in America, mostly if you were born in this system, we have not been taught the full sort of breadth, of how race, has interplayed and how media has really played a crucial role in just how we see ourselves and how we see the other, quote unquote, right? So
yeah,
like I start out with something that I think is a profound erasure from history, which is Japan's role in trying to get what would become the United Nations to acknowledge racial equality on a global scale, and what
yeah,
happened when Woodrow Wilson and the other Western powers rejected it. So it's like that's how I open. So I think for a lot of people, it's like, whoa, if we didn't know that, what else don't we know? And I'm like, stay tuned. I'll tell you, you know.
And now that
Yeah.
Turning Point is going to be integrated into school curriculum and stuff, we're going to get a lot more education about these kinds of topics in the US, right? Like our
yeah,
kids are getting even better history lesson. In case it's not clear, by sarcasm filters on very heavily right there. But as you're talking, like, first of all, I really want to take your class too, and I'm very sad
Sure.
I just don't have bandwidth right now. I'm going to
Mhm.
hopefully be in a future cohort. But like, why are our kids who are going into crippling debt to go to college not getting this when they're going to college? I mean, we know the answer, but I have as a high school senior, we're in like deep in the throes of college, researching and eyeballs bulging out at costs kind of life right now. And I'm like, you are the exact kind of educator that I want teaching my daughters how to come into the world, right?
Mm,
I love that this class is more affordable, more equitable in that way and available, but also you should also be like, shame on Columbia.
mm.
What, like that on many levels, they were like one of the schools that capitulated first.
right.
Right.
And
Right.
I mean, it seems clear to me, at least. I don't you think that part of the reason Columbia canceled your class is because they're pre-capitulating? They're like, oh, look, Trump, look, here's another thing we're doing for you. We're canceling Karen Attiah.
Yeah, I mean, I still to this day, I still don't have the sort of official reason. I probably never will, but
Right.
the fact that they canceled it like a year out from when I was supposed to teach again, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously also I was very critical of Israel's actions in Palestine, and in Gaza. So
Two,
like,
two Jewish people here who are calling
oh,
it a genocide and a Holocaust because we can
right.
see what's happening, right? And it's an uncomfortable place to be, but we've got to speak truth. I'm sorry
Right.
to interrupt you, but I'm really passionate about this. As a Jewish
Mhm,
man in America, it's a genocide. It's a
mhm.
genocide. And we
Yeah,
can't not use the word because it makes people uncomfortable.
yeah,
I'm putting a
yeah.
Sorry.
story in the chat here, Lauren.
I had to say it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I my class, I actually submitted my syllabus for approval in fall of 2023. And I had a unit on Israel Palestine. So imagine what I was stepping into 2023 into 2024.
Yeah.
So to an extent, I was like, and I'd written, pretty early saying warning against Israel committing atrocities, and people thought I was insane and crazy. And of course, this couldn't happen, and now here we are. Um, so I don't know. Sarah Kendzior has said sometimes there's a price for being right too early.
Oof. Yeah.
Ooh, yes. As you were speaking, I was like, doesn't it suck when you're right and you don't want to be right?
Yeah,
But yes,
yeah,
that was so beautifully said. There's a price for being right too early.
yeah.
I
Hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna grab my charger really quickly. It's just right there. Sorry
Yeah,
okay.
about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Hold on a second. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Of course. And while Karen's grabbing her charger, I will say thanks to everyone in the chat. Like, I wish I could be reading all of your insightful comments. There's so many kind words coming in and so much just discourse that's adding to the conversation. And aside to Substack, please, please, when you post the recaps, like just do the
Include the
smidge
chat.
of extra dev work to include the chat alongside it because
Yeah.
um as we're talking about community and feeling the need to connect, like that's a huge part of our mission here at the Daily Whatever Show. So we have this great conversation going on, but when the recap goes up, all the chat gets lost. So I like to we try to elevate some of the comments coming in. And I feel like that I'm no developer, but that isn't that like this many lines of code, maybe like
Yeah.
just don't remove it. It's already here. Substack
Karen,
one day.
we're old timers at Substack. We've been here 5 whole months. If you want
oh,
any tips or
oh,
tricks, we're literally like learning how things work as we go along. So
me
let us
too.
know if you need tips or tricks. We'll tell you all the inside scoop.
Yeah, I do. I definitely need to like sort of figure out a lot. I suppose I'm still kind of like I think y'all are maybe my I don't know, maybe my third or fourth live or something. So I'm still figuring out, okay, wait, where do I go? Like the app does what? Okay.
Right.
All right, sounds and I think this is my first group chat. So I didn't even know we could do group chats. That's
Well,
cool.
so
Three.
three is the max,
There's Max.
and
Okay.
yeah, because
Well, that's
forgive
cool.
me
That's
for
actually
sounding
really nice.
stalkerish. I know you talked to Krugman and Kazim Rashid, and I think Joyce Vance. Um, so you know, yes, we're delighted that you're speaking with us as well. Uh, it's kind of real citizen journalism here. We
Yes.
appreciate being included in that audience.
Did
Uh-oh.
we lose you? I
Karen, did
saw
we lose you?
I saw the internet connection went unstable message like our democracy.
Right.
Um, oh no, Karen, let's give it a minute. Oh, and hope that she comes back. We only have a few minutes left, but um,
Sorry, I'm back.
Now you're back.
All right. My
welcome
internet
back.
is my internet is being very wonky. Everything is being very wonky. I'm just like, honestly, the game is on hard mode for me right now, clearly, like, which
Oh
is
my gosh, well,
Yeah.
you're killing it. Even you're, um, and also this is what Substack is like. It's the Wild West. Lives
Mm,
are like it makes it so accessible to reach an audience and to talk, but also the features are like, yeah, and people are. It's kind of like in the early days of COVID when we all had to return home.
yeah.
And so we were all figuring out our home office situations, and you'd see people's like, half dressed kids raining in the background and the pets, and we all got to know each other better, and all of our
Yeah.
hair became very messy. It's like those days on Substack.
I like
I love
that.
the new things.
I like that. I mean, I think what's and I was sort of somewhat darkly joking to kind of like my team when we were trying to kind of do the rapid response last week, trying to figure out like how can I get on these TV networks and anchors or whatever. And I was like, wait a sec, like is Substack going to be the new public broadcaster? Like,
Yes.
is
That's what,
this
yes.
Yeah, we literally just did a summer pledge drive, and we like to say that
wow?
we're doing the NPR model. All of our
Yeah.
content is free, but we just ask that people pledge to support
Mm,
us as we do our work. And, like we're not making money from this. We're just, doing it because we love doing it, and it would be nice if we could make a living at it.
yeah. Yeah, because like now like the waves, so to speak, are the internet. And again, sitting here in DC and I'm not very far at all from the NPR headquarters. I'm not far at all from the FCC. I'm not far from all of these media networks. And I just keep thinking, particularly when the FCC intervened in Jimmy Kimmel's case and the
Right.
attacks on PBS, the attacks on NPR. And I just am like, man, is Substack going to be kind of where a lot of these like respected journalists and former, broadcasters are going to like, it's the platform and then we all have our own sort of shows, right, that people can tune into and decide to support. But I'm like, this might be the next public broadcaster, not in a state government owned, but precisely because it's
Right.
outside of the bounds of the state for now.
Yes.
Yeah,
For now.
with the
I-
caveat that they just got a real big infusion of funding from some very right-wing sources that we are
Right.
all a little nervous about. But right
Uh,
now, it is. I mean, there are so many. Most of the ethical, I'm just going to say, the left-leaning ethical journalists have either been fired or have left and have gone on to form their little empires here on
yeah,
Substack. I mean, the Contrarian, those folks came,
my colleague, yeah,
your colleagues,
Jen
right?
Ted
Rubin.
Rubin. Yeah.
I was
I'm
almost
sure
like
they'll
Jim.
have you on, right?
Yeah. That's the plan. And then who else? Jim Acosta, of course.
Of course,
Um,
Tyran is here.
mhm.
There's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. So, Joy Reid and Mehdi
yes,
Hassan was
Yeah.
Attiah. So it's just sort of, and people are asking me, are you going to start your own media thing? So I won't stay tuned, but I mean, I definitely see, and there's a lot more, and we should have more conversations about what I think about media, politics, and money, and why the right is like eating our lunch, like when it
Yes.
comes to literally
yes,
putting their money where their mouth is, where the media is, and in so many ways they're winning.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, they're
but
absolutely winning. Yeah.
yeah, right. But I think for now it definitely, feels like all right, this is a place where our voices can actually survive and gain reach. So
Yeah.
of
yep.
Karen, are you okay if we go a couple minutes long?
course, yeah,
I
that was fun.
thank you. Thank you so much. I know you went to, I think you said you were going to grab your charter. Was that something you wanted to read
I've
to
already
us?
got it. I've already got
No,
it.
her
So we're good.
charger.
Oh, your charger. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's got like a mission statement that she's going to read.
Oh, that too. Soon come.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's the charter would be great. But yeah, just
Charter.
the Substack right now, lives are pretty new. Like Lawrence and I joined Substack about 6 months ago and founded this show. This week is our 5-month anniversary,
Oh.
so we're pretty new. But being that we're here 6 days a week,
Mm.
we're joking that we're veterans, but we kind of are. And the relative numbers are still quite low. I mean, like we're at 400 today. We're thrilled about that. But it's something that we just see in it's nascent, right? And we're all figuring out how to do it. I think the general population maybe doesn't think of Substack yet for lives. They think more about YouTube or other channels, but it's clearly like on the precipice of huge growth. So all of that's to say is we think you're entering here at a really good time, and voices like yours are what are going to make or break this platform. Like we need like heavy hitting,
Truth.
brilliant truths coming in here. So, yeah, I think however, wherever you want to grow this platform, like it's here for you.
Oh, I appreciate that. You mean there's life outside of the Washington Post, is what y'all are telling me.
Right.
Yeah,
Come
I
on
have
in at the
looked at
water
the
sign.
Washington
Like,
Post
yeah.
I
since
know.
they've refused. Like, I wish I could cancel my subscription again for what they did to you, but
Yeah.
I already canceled it for what they did to Kamala Harris in November, or I guess
Yeah.
late October. Um, and I'm being a little tongue in cheek, but not really. Like I was like, democracy died in darkness for me that day. Like, there are other I still look to the New York Times, the Guardian, is getting a lot of words here of like, yep, you got to look outside the U.S. to really get a full story. We talk about the news here every Friday with our our, our funny named show. But last week, our guest brought a story in about what is happening in the former alligator Alcatraz and how these 1,200 people are disappeared and literally couldn't find it in the U.S.
Mm.
mainstream press. She had to take the story from El País, from Spain,
Wow. Yeah.
and brought it on our show. And we know right now our reach is small, but every voice getting out there matters when it
Oh,
comes to sharing these stories, right?
every voice matters. And I will say, like, y'all are fun interviewers. Like, Lawrence, you're the first one to ask me in an interview about those photos. So I'm like,
Oh, I mean, I saw them and I was like, I can't not ask about this. Like, they are so classy and beautiful and perfect.
oh,
Like, how could you not? Yeah.
Uh,
Can I ask kind of, one more thing, and then we've got sort of a question that we always ask our guests at the end.
mhm.
But before that, I was really incredibly moved the other day listening to you talk to Kazim Rashid about your mother and your grandmother, and about how they are warriors, how they survived the atrocities of the Biafra conflict. And you said this thing that just stuck with me so hard was like, maybe it's epigenetic, right? Like maybe
Mhm.
because my grandparents and parents went through this, I've inherited some will to fight. And I was wondering if maybe you could maybe start closing us out by talking about that concept of how that's motivating you in this moment.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, anyone who's followed my blue sky and even since before the election, I can't explain it. Like my spidey senses have been going off
Yeah.
about our situation and not even necessarily being able to articulate this. And I actually truly do, you know, I know I teach on race, and I teach mostly that race is a, you know, social sort of construct in terms of power and things like that. But I do think that, like, those of us, even whether it's Jewish, Black, African people who've had extreme trauma and fleeing war or survival, like in their actual bloodlines, like I just have seen that, like, a lot of us, our spidey senses are going off about America,
A
right? And
million percent.
you
A
can't
million.
really explain it. Um,
They're on fire at this point. Mine, like,
oh,
Yeah.
my ever, like, I keep checking in with my ex-husband because we have two kids, and I'm just like, do we need to go now? Do we need to go?
yeah,
What
yeah.
is the line that gets crossed that says we got to jump?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I do think, my grandmother and
Mhm.
my mother only recently being able to open up about their experiences with the Biafra conflict, which was civil war rather, which killed a million Nigerians, and it was largely like an ethnic conflict, but the whole world was tuned in.
Right.
And I always just think about how my mom would tell me that, like, my grandmother, somehow instinctively knew and, like, knew to grab a lot of the family history, actually,
I
so
loved that piece that she
yeah.
knew to grab the family photo so that your
Mhm.
heritage would not be lost.
Yeah, exactly. So now, just something about that, I think, as a journalist, of course, like anyone who's read my work, like I have a heart for refugees. I have a heart for displaced sort of people. So I wrote a lot about humanitarian conflicts and asylum, things like that, and building, I guess, even to an extent, building the global opinions section as a sort of journalistic asylum for writers like Jamal, who couldn't find sort of journalistic safety in their countries, to now, I guess, building my own little lifeboat with Resistance Summer School and Resistance Studies series. So I guess for me, uh, it's about, like, creating, yeah, I guess, creating lifeboats, for myself and other people in community. But it really is about, like, people kind of use community as it's almost like cliche and meaningless, but, like, for me, it really is about survival, and fun, like, at the same time. But yeah, my grandmother, the fact that she preserved our stories, our family history, so that I know where I come from,
Right.
so that I'm rooted as I do this. People are like, "How do you do this?" I'm like, "'Cause I know what my grandmother went through. I
Oh,
know
Yeah.
that she was
yes.
displaced and that they were eating from lizards in the forest where they couldn't get food, that my mom couldn't go to school for 2 years, while then finally getting evacuated to Ghana, and then my grandfather having to start his entire life all over again after retirement. So back to full circle with you guys' conversation about this idea of starting over.
Right.
I'm not afraid to start over. It's been in my family. It's that survival, is picking yourself back up and then reinventing yourself again. Um, I guess, is something that is just in me because I've seen that modeled and embodied, and that I wouldn't be here if my grandmother didn't do that. So that's why, like, even though what happened to me is like terrible, losing my job, like I still have a roof over my head. I'm not in the forest eating lizards. Like
Right.
it gives perspective. And I that's how I'm not saying it's easy, but that's how I can keep going because I know my literal ancestors went through so much worse and did so much more with the little that they had. So not everybody has to have that dramatic of a story to keep going. It just happens to be mine. Maybe that's
Right.
why all these dramatic things keep happening to me. But that's just truly what animates what I do, which is why I'm not afraid. I mean, I
Yeah.
have fear, but I'm not like I come from people who survived actual war. Like
Right.
people screaming at me at the internet doesn't bother me.
Yeah. I I really appreciate your bravery so much. So I grew up as a gay man and, have spent a lot of time thinking about kind of intersectionality and how our stories, our ancestral stories and our personal stories form kind of what we're willing to do and how we're willing to speak up in this world. And
Mm.
so I love that your story, your ancestors are bringing you strength and holding you up during this moment. I think that's so important. Um, we asked a question as we close out the
Sure.
show,
Of course.
and I before we do that, I just have to say it is such an honor to be able to speak to you. And
Oh,
please, if we can help you in any way, and I know we're small potatoes in the scheme of things, but
no.
like Dana and I mean it like from the bottom of our hearts. Please let us know how we can
Gosh.
help. We would we would be honored to be able to help you in this journey in any way we can. And I hope it's not asking too much. We'd love to have you come back and talk to us.
Oh, I'd love to. Y'all
Oh
are
my gosh.
fun. Yeah, no, thank you so much for that. I mean, I don't look like my mom always used to say, don't, what is it? Don't despise like small beginnings. I mean, I think even some of my old first Substack posts or attempts at trying to record a video call, not video column, audio column in my closet on my phone, maybe have like a couple likes or something like that. I'm like, oh, this isn't the ether. But that's just look like I said, you guys are reinventing yourselves and figuring it out. And like
Yeah.
this is part of the process. And I don't know, I tell everyone, um, it's same martial arts, whatever you do, like the goal is not perfection, it's consistency and like showing up even when you don't want to. And you guys just have such good energy that I was just like, I don't know. I just was like, I just want to come on. And
Oh,
I'm glad I'm glad I did. And yeah, I think it's just, for folks to follow my new adventure and it does mean a lot. I mean, I know sometimes, like, it seems like, oh, someone's in the public eye, and I don't know, man, y'all. I was like struggling this morning. I won't lie. Like, I just was like, this is too much. Like this is just, I don't know. And then my cat, and then I was just like,
oh,
like,
Artemis, yeah, we're praying for the kitty.
thank you. So I need this too. And I'm grateful for y'all have put a smile on my face, and that's not a small thing. So, um,
Oh, that means so much. Thank you.
yeah.
It at this moment in time, it felt like there was nothing more important than putting our voices out there.
Mm,
That a a small side note, but it comes back to this. I run a very small publication on Medium called Pink Hair and Pronouns, and it's for parenting gender nonconforming kids, which my child went through a journey, and I founded it to help connect parents. And when Trump won, I had this moment of pause of like, I need to take all this content off the internet because I read Project 2025 and what it had to say about, you know, trans related content being seen as pornography and punishable. And I had to pause and be like, nope, if that's what this is going to come to, like, I'm going to be out there with the trans community and their troubles. And like, I will not, what is that famous quote that's going around everywhere is that like, I will not obey in advance. And
Timothy
so,
Snyder,
Timothy
yeah.
Timothy
Snyder. Yeah.
Snyder on Tyranny, and I, that's a big part of the reason why Lawrence and I show up here every morning. Like, yes, we're silly at times. We're just starting, but we want our voices to be documented, heard, and elevate
Yeah.
folks
Yeah.
who are taking the chances, just moving through the world as they are. So, hearing that we brought a smile to your face, like that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
we're all in this together, right? Like I'm a
Yep.
gay Jewish man living in Indiana. Like when they started, handing out the pink triangles and yellow stars, and like I'm first on the list. I know it.
The Lucky
So
Charm here.
right, we all need to band together and do the old Jesse Jackson Rainbow Coalition. All of us working together
Mhm.
to take this country back.
Yeah.
Dana, ask our big question.
Oh yeah, big
Big
question.
question seems
I'm
so
ready.
silly after all this serious talk. I'm putting one last link in here to Karen's Substack to go
Thank you
subscribe.
guys. Please
I
subscribe.
just became a paid subscriber just
Thank
now.
you.
So you're so
Thank you.
welcome. Of
Oh my
course,
gosh.
everyone, if you are able, please help Karen in her new journey, her new professional journey. Here is our really hard-hitting question. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. What, in your opinion, is the most Gen X song of all time? And we know you are not Gen X, so we want
We
your
know you're a millennial, but
The
you
most
can tell us the millennial song too if you want to.
most Gen X song of all time.
right.
Meaning it was created during like y'all's time, or would have been popular when y'all were
Yeah, well,
in
just
school?
like a song that represents Gen X in your mind, like a song that if you hear it, you're like, oh man, that reminds me of those Gen X people.
Um, Let me think. That reminds me of those Gen X people. I feel like the examples that I would have are like why do I keep thinking of I'm gonna say this, and I'm not sure. Like, please don't scream at me if it's not of your generation, but it's just
There are no wrong
something
answers.
that I scream at people at Blue Sky, like when I'm in my like military commander mode, and I'm screaming at people to tighten up. Like, wasn't that a song? I don't know if it's Gen X. I'm forgetting the name of the artist already, and if it's like before y'all's time, y'all can flame me. Hold on a sec. I think it's
Tighten Up by Archie Bell and the Drells.
yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I know that song, which
I don't
words I
either.
don't say very often.
Right, Dana is
Ni-
encyclopedic.
1968. So it was released during Gen X years, but is a little bit before.
Before y'all's time.
A little bit before, but I'm going to go listen now because Tighten Up.
Yeah, I keep screaming at people to tighten up these days. And like
Nice.
all the either boomers or Gen Xers like respond to me with like this song, but I know this is like 1968. Otherwise, like I guess for me it would be I mean that's 80s, right? So then
So
like
what's your
Michael
millennial song?
Jackson.
Like what do you think is the millennial iconic song?
My millennial I will say what I have what I have been going back to a lot lately from my millennial times is like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC right now.
Yeah,
100%. Bye, bye, bye.
Like, yeah, larger than life or like I don't know. Yeah, I think like boy band music, 98 Degrees. Boy band music is a little bit of my comfort music right now.
nice.
Maybe like some like Sade, I guess. I used to
Oh
listen
yeah,
to a lot of
Sade.
Sade with my dad.
God, she's still so gorgeous too. I just saw a story about her of how timeless she is, and I was like, beauty products, what are you doing? Each day.
And I love that she doesn't say much. She's not like out there on social media. She doesn't have to like she's Sade, but anytime she does do something, it's like I don't know. It's just the power of like mystery and like take like only speaking when you have to or releasing music when you have to. So
Right.
there's that. Um, but
What about
yeah,
now? It's like bonus question. We don't normally
uh-huh.
ask this, but like what is giving you life right now?
What is giving me life right now? I I probably like when I go through like some stressful times, I think the two things that I first was like, I need good smelling candles. Like I'm a big perfume, home fragrance, personal fragrance nerd. Like scent lifts my spirits like instantly. And then plants and flowers. I'm a big sort of plant mom, which is why this whole situation with Artemis. Oh, see, there we go. Artemis, my cat, is actually a very good with plants. Like he doesn't eat plants, so that's why I'm just like, I don't know if he got into
Unlike
some.
mine.
Yeah, like I don't know if he ate something or like what happened, but I have one, two, three, four. I have like literally like 10 house plants and counting. So gardening, and just again, life. These things are growing. Like I get weirdly overjoyed when I see a new leaf open up on like my bird of paradise. I'm like, okay.
You have a bird of paradise.
Yeah, I love it. I love
I'm
it.
like, you're growing. Like,
Right.
oh, like my pothos, it's like you're getting longer. Look at you
Oh
go.
my
Look at
gosh. You keep naming everything I have right
you.
here.
Oh, nice. Yes.
I'm growing them from
I,
babies.
I have a visitor, Karen. This is
Ah,
Tycho.
cats. Oh, what's his
He's
name?
this is Tycho. He's a
Tycho.
Bengal, and
You have a Bengal? Oh, that is so dope. I wanted one.
they are so much fun. They are so chatty and so
I heard they're kind of crazy.
they're a little bit so not crazy, right? Right? Like let's
What's that?
let's reframe crazy. They really
Okay.
love to be in high spaces, and
Right.
they are high energy. They love
High
to play.
energy. That's the
They
word.
love to play. They love
They
to
they
play.
have a lot of energy. I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of YouTube of and they're very smart, right? Like I've seen a lot
Oh
of
my gosh.
YouTube
Yeah.
of
So
like them
this is
doing like opening doors and like dismantling printers, things like that.
yes. Yeah. So this is my boy, Tycho, and the girl, Ripley, she is so smart. I don't let her outside because she would take over the world. I promise you, she would become the conqueror of the earth if I let her outside.
We probably do a better job if cats were rulers of the earth, to be honest.
Honestly, yes.
Right?
You said Artemis likes to do experiments in gravity, and
Yeah.
I had to laugh because that's exactly what I say about Ripley. Like she will sit and she'll be like, "Oh, Papa, I'm conducting another experiment in gravity. I'm going to see if this falls and
Just
breaks just like
testing.
everything else."
Just testing to see if gravity still works today. They're doing us all a favor.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like, "Oh, thanks, Ripley. Yeah, that wasn't important."
Lots of physics still in place. The
Still
world
in
hasn't
place.
changed too much.
We will check and then we will check again 24 hours from now. And I used to and back on Twitter before it became this like, toxic cesspool of a abandoned strip mall situation. But it's just like because the NASA mission to the moon is called
Artemis,
Artemis.
yes.
And so I'm just like, how do I get my cat into space?
No.
Like, so I
I
used
got
to,
your mascot right here, NASA.
yeah. So I was like, all right, your gravity experiments are just your astronaut training. Like, I get it. Okay. It's just, you're just practicing to like test how gravity works until NASA lets you go into
Right.
space. So it's just practice.
I love it. I love it.
Clearly, Artemis has a career path, and that's
He does.
important. These days, these kids, they can't just go to college and figure out what they want to be. They need to know,
Exactly.
from a very
Exactly.
early age. So Artemis has goals, and I'm
He
pleased with that.
does. If he can get better and get out of the hospital, he does.
We are sending lots of love to Artemis.
We are.
Karen, Attiah, thank you so, like, from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you
Oh,
so much for spending time with us today. It's been such an honor to get to talk to you. And please, if we can ever do anything to help, please come back on the show.
of course.
Please let us know if you need, help figuring out lives or whatever wacky stuff on Substack. We're so here for you.
Yes.
We're on your
We have
Oh,
hard-earned wisdom of 5 months in the trenches.
hey, it counts, but this is the new era. I really do think like or at least Substack like is in a true kind of moment where there's gonna be, like I said, I'm like, this really could be a very powerful form of a public broadcaster. So how do we figure out how to, how to reach people and move around these sort of cowardly institutions? So you guys are pioneers. You should think of it that way.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
As you build your empire, if you need two scrappy Gen X besties,
Yeah.
let us know.
We're right here for you.
We will follow wherever you lead. Absolutely.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, like I said, I'm gonna make y'all follow up on that. So when I'm knocking on your door, being like, "Yo,
We're here. We
how do I
volunteers
do-"
tributes.
Yes.
All right, thank y'all. And yes, I hope to see you guys on the golden hour. More updates, especially in the WAPO case to come. So I'll be updating largely through Substack and more announcements. I'm not fading from the public eye. So y'all will see more of me.
Excellent. And I will see you starting October 6th for
I'll see you in class.
yes, I will
More.
see you in class. I'm so excited about that. Karen, thank you so much. We
All
are
right.
wishing you the very best. Have a great rest of your day and healing to Artemis.
Thank you,
Yes.
guys. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
bye.
Love
Love
you,
you,
Mom.
everybody. Mean it. Mwah. Mwah. Bye.